Yes, hello, good evening to welcome to slrradio.co.uk. You are listening to the Global Horizon show on .uk, and we just hope that you are listening. And well, today we've got a pretty good lineup f- for you today. Yes, we're just gonna take a break to sort out a few uh, technical issues here. Right, let me try again then. Yes. Right, so yes, we are here this evening. Just sorting out a few issues there. And just welcome to Global Horizons on slrradio.co.uk. And today we have a pretty good lineup for you today. We are talking money. We are talking money today. And today, the 26th of October, 2020, it is Black History Month here in the UK. And the show has been doing a theme this month, which was about Black History Month refocus. And just looking to refocus the conversation. But the conversation that we're having today is about making money work for you, and we have an international. We've got some international guests here for you. Henry Lincoln, who is a life coach here from California, the United States, and we also have Sinead Sterling from Atlanta, Georgia, and she's a foreign exchange master trader, and they're going to be telling you how to make your money work for you. And we also have coming up at 8:30. We have Anne's, the urban psychologist. She'll be doing a Black Men Talk. The theme is restoring healthy relationship in the Black community, and she will be reviewing Black Men Talk. It has been going for quite a number of weeks now, and she will be reviewing that today. Now, tonight, if you want to contribute to the conversation today, you can text 07984 931 588. And if you want to call live calls, 07377 236 067. I'm going to give you those. I'm going to give you those numbers. Yeah, I'm going to give you those numbers again. 07984 931 588, and that is for those who wants to text, and for those who wants to do live calls. The number is 07377 236 067, and you can give your contribution. So this is Global Horizon Show here on slrradio.co.uk. Global Horizon Show, raising real conversations. Now we're talking finance today, financial literacy, and quite often we speak about not having enough money, or we've got money that has been tucked away somewhere, and we just have it in the bank, we have it in the bank, pile it up, and the bank is making good money, good uses of it, and they are not making they're making the money for it, and you become poorer. So it's about making your money work for you, and we, like I said, we have Henry Lincoln, who is going to be talking about that. He's a life coach, but he has knowledge on that, and he will be sharing his knowledge on that. But we also have Shante as well. She's going to be giving her sharing her experience as well. I think we have Henry on the line. Hello, good evening.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I can. I can hear you loud and clear, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good this evening, Henry. Now we've been welcome to the Global Horizon Show. If you are based in the United States, and you're going to be sharing with us this evening about making our money uh, work for us. Now, first of all, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Thank you so much for having us on today. We're excited about that. One of the things that we do for sure, we get a chance to talk to folks about earning money, saving money, multiplying their money. I've spent somewhere north of 20 years in the financial services industry, helping people build their financial house, understanding the right kind of insurances, investments, how to pay off and eliminate debt. Make sure you're planning for your retirement, kids' college educations, and things of that nature. So that has definitely been a big part of my life and what we get a chance to do, not just locally or nationally, but now internationally. Right. Well, I think the biggest thing I want to talk about is that you can't be scared. So many people are scared of having a conversation about money, having a conversation about finances, having a conversation about being better off financially. They think whatever they to whatever they been growing up in has to be their plight for the rest of their life. So understanding that I make money, but I should also say keeping this money. Our community has a stigma where no one talks about stuff until everything is bad. I don't know if that happens in the UK, but it happens here in the United States. It happens in Trinidad. After everything is messed up, now we want to talk about it, and it's a little too late then for some people.
Hmm. Now, obviously, the area of work that you're in is about making people financially independent. So, what is it about being financially independent?
Great, great, great question. Thank you for that. I believe it's our right? I believe people who look like us and talk like us and act like us, they really need to understand that the finances, financial wealth, financial independence is for generations, right? All your generations is for you. Okay, you're not making it just for you. You're making it where it's. Are you guys hearing the echo? Is that me
No, continue.
buzzing?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, okay, good, good. All right, so good. So the mindset that I want us to have is that you deserve this money. Generations of us have not had money, have not been financially dependent, where we could now be creators of industries. We could now be the owners and not the borrowers, right? We can be the lender and not the person who's always asking for money. Your kids should not have the same financial strife, financial pressures that you've had. So in that mindset, how much am I making? What's my new ceiling? What's my floor? Right? In the United States, and you guys can change it over to pounds and stuff for me if you can. But you know, we tell folks, right? Six figures a year should not be your floor. Right? Six figures a year should not be your floor, and then moving towards making six figures a month. Six figures a month, why? That's going to pass down from generation to generation an idea of we don't need anyone else to take care of us. We can take care of ourselves financially. And it can be in any industry, but if I don't have an idea or a goal or a mission to make a certain amount of money, I just stay with the status quo. I stay average. I stay complaining. And it's a sad state of affairs if our community doesn't step up and start looking at making more money. Is money everything? No, it's not everything, but everything we want and need and desire and deserve has money attached to it. So
So,
don't run away from it because it's tough.
yeah. So, why do you think that people often fail to achieve financially?
Why do I think they're financial? Because we settle. We settle. The failure comes from settling and not having this servant mentality. The people who serve the most get the most. You need to make a lot of money because it's not all so many houses, so many cars. But we've been trained, go to school, get a good education, get a good job, and just take care of me and mine. And that has not worked out traditionally for our community. We must now take the onset of moving into becoming a business owner, of becoming an investor to get to that next level. So all it is really right now, the failure comes from lack of education, lack of training, lack of understanding, lack of belief, because I don't know enough people. I don't have the education or I don't have the access to get involved in something that can change my life.
Now, 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 talking about this failure and people inability to achieve. What are often the obstacles to this?
The obstacle is first your environment. Your environment. You can only aspire to what your environment has. And for most people, they're in an environment that does not talk about success, does not talk about extra, doesn't talk about getting to the next level. So your environment, you must first change your environment. You have to also change your belief, believing that you can be something better, something special, something more, right? And then lastly, having a system in place that allows you to help and inspire others. The greatest leaders in the world, the greatest money makers, for lack of a better term, in the world, they have looked out for thousands and millions of people, right? So you help someone get what they want, you will get you what you want. Help someone reach their dreams and goals, you'll reach your dreams and goals. But we've been taught and trained up for so many years to be selfish that it takes a whole new mindset, a whole new shift, a whole new community to become selfless,
Hmm. Yes, so,
right? And have humility be your leader.
now, obviously,
Yes, sir.
I suppose that that working against these obstacles would include
Hmm.
investing in yourselves. Can you expand on that?
Yes, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, definitely, personal growth in reading books, in going to seminars, right, and being a part of organizations and companies that that are teaching you and training you and mentoring you to get to another level of thinking is one thing, but then having a product or a service that's going to pay dividends back to my return on investment, right? Because if I don't change what's inside of me, I'll just be looking to fool people with what's on the outside of me. The enemy is stronger, right? They have a saying that what's happening to me or around me is not as strong as what's happening inside of me. And how do I fix what's inside of me? The kind of books I read, the kind of conversations I have, the communities and the villages and the people that I surround myself with, are going to change the inner person to get me to a better position. I was doing a call to some folks last night, and I was like, if you want to get to a higher position, you must become a higher person. And so to overcome the obstacles of fear, doubt, for some folks, shame, disbelief, the naysayers, the haters, right? Your family who thinks, you know what, why are you doing that? Just go back and get that good job. But what makes you think you can own your own business? To overcome all that, you must you must inundate yourself, with positive thinking, positive messages, positive communities and conversations through books and CDs and audio books, right? And then for sure, putting yourself in the right environment of people who have what you want.
Yeah. Now we are in the UK. We are actually in Black History Month. I know that in the United States that it's in February. So I just want to frame a question that somehow reflects that. And the question is, to what extent do you think that our historical experience in the West has shaped the mindset in terms of the confidence we have in terms of investing and wanting to have that courage to go on a limb and do things that relates to money?
I believe the stuff that we see, right? The stuff that we see should encourage us. When you see a millionaire, you have to believe if he could do it, if she could do it, I could do it. You have to believe that if I've done everything that my grandparents did, I will get what they have. And if it's investing and saving and multiplying your money in the markets has not been a thing in your family or has not been a thing in your community, right? You need to fight for that. So the examples that you see, you have to follow the examples, and then you become the example, not just locally, not just nationally in your town or your country or your state, but around the world. That I invest in oil, I invest in gold, right? I understand foreign currencies and now the cryptocurrencies. Understand what bitcoins and Ethereum and Litecoins and all those things are doing. Understanding, the mindset of digital currency. Money is being moved without us touching any physical money anymore globally. So if you're not part of that solution right now, you'll always be stuck inside the problem.
Yes, and you talk about the being stuck in the problem, and
Right.
quite often I think perceptively a lot of us, when I say us, I'm talking about black people, seems to be, at least that's the perception, to be stuck in the problem, as you put it. Uh, and the question has always been for me is how do we get ourselves out of that mindset, because as you know that
Right. Right.
mindset is not the easiest thing to
Right.
change. So how do we do that?
Right. I I would tell the person now who's listening, and you know what? I'm stuck in this mindset because I have not personally said to myself, it's time to change. Right? Most folks have to be hurting bad enough, but most of have to be hurting bad enough to change. Right? If you have a little pain, they talk about a dog laying on a nail on the porch, and it's just moaning and groaning, and someone asks the owner, why isn't the dog moving? Why is the dog moaning? Why is he moaning? Why is he crying? He said, oh, he's laying on the nail. Well, why won't he move? Because it doesn't hurt bad enough yet. And for most of us, we try to wait until it hurts bad enough to do something. The mindset to change is proactive. Be proactive, right? Look ahead. I need to have more money than I need. I need to save more money. I need to have 3 to 6 months of my income put away, right? Ideally, to keep myself from financial destitution. Most folks are one or two paychecks away from being homeless. Not 1 or 2 thousand, not 1 or 2 years. They're 1 or 2 paychecks away from being completely homeless. So the mindset has to be: let me look at my bank account. Let me look at where I live. Let me look at what kind of school my kids are going to, And that should change your mind, right? Right. For those who believe and pray, right? The book says faith without works is dead. So that means you have to put in some work, and the work has to be something different. And I'm not ashamed to say it, it has to be something different than just a regular 9 to 5, 8 to 12 swing shift, midnight shift job. You must have a business entrepreneur mindset in this new millennial, this new age that we're living in. People without businesses or the vision of being a business owner or investing heavily in stock markets and currency markets, you're going to get left behind.
Now,
And I think the sounding board today, just not to cut you off, but the
sorry.
sounding board today for our community and you having this is that you have to believe that there's a better way and stop believing in the way that has you feeling the way you are right now.
Yeah, Henry, thanks for that. Very informative indeed. Uh, Obviously, we talk. You spoke about moving between different mindsets, and you spoke about the 9 to 5 job, and a lot of people are kind of psychologically stuck in that and haven't got the confidence to let go. So, if you could just give us perhaps an insight or some thoughts on moving from the 9 to 5 to either a business person or being an entrepreneur. What is the leap? What does that involve?
That involves, folks. For most people, it involves taking that leap of faith that you talked about. Like, I know I deserve more. You have to get to the point where I know I deserve more. I am great at my job. I'm great at my position, but they're not paying the person. If you've ever been on a job where you're doing all the work, answering all the questions, responding to all the emails, right? And the person next to you is doing half the work. Excuse me, is doing half of the work, but they're getting the exact same paycheck of you as you. It's time to move on. You must look for an industry. You must look for a something that you love, a passion that you have, and how do I now monetize that? For most people, you have it within you. We've just not established ourselves in the right communities. So going back to what I said earlier, jobs take care of your food, clothing, and shelter. Yes. What they do not do, and they're not set up to do, is take care of your goals and dreams. You have to make your goals and dreams bigger, bigger than you just settling for this 9 to 5, this mundane life of, I owe, so off to work I go. Right? So those days where you can be on the job for 15, 20, 30 years and get a retirement plan, those days have coming to an end. The folks who are retiring now are getting the last set of that money. You need to find something. You need to look for something. If you don't know what to look for, there are folks out there, Coach Henry's out there, there's Shanae Sterling's out there who have put together systems and plans and programs
Mm-hmm.
to teach you about money, teach you about finance, and then get you the freedom you need to now buy your own business, buy your own company, call your own shots, be your own boss, and not depend on working for 2 weeks and hoping they pay you. But creating a more valuable person, and you get paid more, Buzz, and you get paid more by the value you bring to the hour, not the money you get for the hour. The value I bring to the hour is what increases my paycheck.
Now, I know you mentioned about uh, yourself and people like yourself and Shantae Sterling putting programs together, but without going into too much details about that, because we're going to get to that later. Um, the question is about, I think that what make people maybe a bit reticent in coming forward to even leave the 9 to 5 is they have a lot of ideas, but they don't know how do I monetize my ideas or my skills. How do I do that? I think it's people not having that sometimes make people a little bit afraid to take that leap.
No, no doubt, no doubt. The fear is there. Anything that you're thinking about doing, someone's probably done it or doing it. Um, we do have the internet now. We didn't have that, right? 25, 30 years ago, where you can go on there and look and see. I want to be a chef. I want to start open a restaurant. Who's opened a restaurant, right? I'm into film. I'm into taking pictures. Who has a studio? right? What did Tyler Perry do? Okay, I want to start my own car dealership. What does it take? Right? You do the research. You do the research. You spend time. I like to call this the if you guys ever seen the movie Shawshank Redemption, I call
Yep.
it the Shawshank Redemption kind of mindset where you're digging when they're not looking. Right? You're digging when they're not looking. You're researching when no one's looking. That means you got to get up a little early in the morning. You got to stay up a little later at night. I'm gonna keep harping on this. You got to read some different books, listen to some different audios to get your mind right to make that shift. We're only fearful because we don't know. All right. My dad taught me a long time ago. Everything is easy once you know how. Your job is to know how. What's gonna make you fight for that how is the why. Why am I doing this? I want to retire my mom. I want to buy a new house. Right? I want to give my wife the most incredible life ever. I want to take. I want to show my husband a great vacation. Right? I want to donate back to schools and churches and buy hospitals wheelchairs. Your why has to be so big that the how and the what does not matter. You're going to do whatever it takes, and you'll figure out the how because your why is so big. Most folks stay away. They like it. It's more of a hobby than a business. And I speak a lot about people having busyness, and they think that that's business. BUSYNESS is different than BUSINESS.
Yes, I like that. Can you? Because I'm really excited about hearing that. Can you explain? Can you give us a little detail about that?
Right? People are busy talking about what they're going to do. Right? They're busy thinking about what's going to happen. They're busy comparing themselves to folks who have it going on or better than them. A business person, BUSINESS, business person finds a system, and the system stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. And why? I'm going to forward my thinking and my process to have 1% of 100 people put in effort than me put 100% myself. A busy person likes doing everything themselves. All right, I'm going to turn the lights on. I'm going to sweep. I'm going to cook. I'm going to clean. I'm going to be the CEO. I'm going to be the secretary. I'm. That is a busy person. Busy people go out of business. Business people create the businesses. They create the system. So that way they have more time and more energy to actually run the business as opposed to being run by a business. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, because yeah, well, it does because quite often the perception about an entrepreneur, particularly small entrepreneur, is that they put the totality of all their skills into what they're doing. So it's normally themselves doing everything. So,
Right.
so I'm looking at it from the concept of small entrepreneurs because I've seen that myself, and even I myself has been engaged in that. So that has to get me thinking differently in that respect. In that all the skills that we have, we invest that into that, and a lot of it has to do with cost as well. So, how does that apply to the to the upcoming and new entrepreneur?
Well, the upcoming entrepreneur needs to have a mindset of one, if you're self-employed, that's different than being a business owner. Self-employed is just going back to what I talked about. So those things may confuse folks at times because it's a thin line. I'm self-employed. I have now become the business. The entrepreneur is a person who is looking to make money with their hands in their pocket. That means I touch nothing, but the business keeps running because I have a system in place. Right? McDonald's is a system. If you're in Oakland, California, if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, if you're in the United Kingdom and you have some McDonald's, it's the exact same system. They never planned on being. Am I there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. They never McDonald's never planned on being the best hamburger restaurants in the world. What their plan was to have the most locations in the world, have the most outlets in the world. See, how many of you can you create? How many of you can you create? If I can reproduce and redistribute myself and my thoughts and my ideas and my focus, now I have a business that's not just going to be locally amazing, nationally recognized, but internationally renowned. Because why? I have outlets that run a system that frees up time for the actual owner. So for
Mm-hmm.
the average entrepreneur, they're thinking about, oh, I'd like to cook. I'll open a restaurant. And then when they get into that business, they figure out, oh, it's different now. Now I got to balance the books. All right. I have to have insurances. I have to make sure my customers are happy. I have to worry about customer service. I have to make sure my price points are right. All right. My location must be well. And now you're doing all these things and trying to cook. It makes a lot of people go out of business fast because their mindset was never for expansion. Once you come into business, your next move, how do I expand?
Yes. So yes, that definitely answers the question. Now we're getting to a very important question, and that um, is how does money work?
How does money work? Money works. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. There's a simple process for those who are writing down stuff or taking notes. There's something called the rule of 72. That's international. The rule of 72. How does money work? How does money multiply? And the financial institution where you have your money right now, a bank or a credit union, a savings and loan, they'll give you some interest on your money every year, right? They say, okay, we're going to give you 2% interest on your money. And the rule of 72 says you take the interest divided into the number 72, it will tell you how many years it takes your money to double. So if you have $100 now in your local bank, savings and loan, credit union, and they're giving you 2% on that $100, 2 into 72 is 36. It will take your money 36 years to get to $200 for it to double. So however old you are right now, add 36 years to that, and your $100 will now be $200. That is an international rule for money. That is a standard in the industry. So now the flip is if you have a credit card and the credit card company charges you, right, uh, 18 or 36% interest on your money, 36 into 72 is 2. The credit card's money, the company's money, that doubles now every 2 years. So if you don't understand interest and the growing of interest, you will not understand how money works. We understand how to work for money. Now I have to study money to understand how money works. Where do I put my money where I can get the highest interest for the shortest period of time? And when I'm spending my money on credit per se, how can I not expose myself to the interest payments for a long period of time? I must. Interest is like the sun when it comes to debt, right? If you the longer you're in the sun, the worse you'll feel. The longer you're under interest rates and under credit card debt, the worse you'll feel. So I must move and shift that, pay that off, and now put money into mutual funds, into retirement accounts, into investment programs, into buying stocks, into trading currencies, to now help the money multiply faster. So there's so many different systems, so many different avenues and angles. It depends on what someone's wanting to do, from college funds for their kids all the way up to their own retirement plans, or maybe even buying a dream thing, right? Like a like a summer home, a winter home, um, an airplane, a boat, a antique car. All these things have a system how I put away money and save money and invest money to hit these goals.
Yes, listeners, you're listening to SLR Radio here, Global Horizon Show, slrradio.co.uk. And tonight we're talking about making your money work for you. And we have Henry Lincoln, life coach from California, USA, and Shante Sterling from Atlanta, Georgia. And they were giving you some really top tip information and some powerful information on how to make your money work for you. But before we get back to Henry, we're just going to have a word from our supporters. We have Nisha's boutique there, designer brands from London, Paris, and Rome, and she's located there on 417 419 High Road, Tottenham in 17 6RD. That's Natasha's boutique for all your latest fashions, and also Tree of Eternal Life. There in West Green Road is African Caribbean Holistic Health and Wellbeing Store. They sell bush herbs, moringa, soursop leaf, neem, cerasee, Irish moss, bearable fruit, and that's located at 124A West Green Road, London N15. Opening time is Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And that is the Tree of Eternal Life. And we also have Blue Rock Restaurant. They're 344 Lordship Lane, Tottenham in 17. I'm serving you the best and the sweetest, exquisite Caribbean dishes. So those are words from our sponsors and supporters. Now back to you, Henry. Question is, what is, from someone asking the question, what is forex?
Man, beautiful, beautiful question. And I would love to have our expert out here out of Atlanta, Georgia, Miss Shanae Sterling. I would love to introduce her uh, to the panel and to everybody right now. If Miss Shanae Sterling, you on, ma'am?
Coach Henry Lincoln, I am on. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
I
can.
can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear you loud and clear. Good evening, Shanae Sterling.
Well, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great here in London, in cold London, but we need to tap into your brain power in terms of trading and what it is. And one of the questions that came in was what is forex. So can you first of all, just before you answer that question, just tell the listeners a little bit about what you do.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, sir. Well, actually, full time, I am a senior inventory analyst, and the um, the forex is what I do part time on the side. So I have this business on the side that I'm so excited about. I've been tapped in since about March of this year, and it's been phenomenal. So just to kind of explain what forex is, it's short for foreign exchange. And you being in London, you may know this already, but some may not. So
Mhm.
what it is when if you've ever traveled outside of the United States, typically you have to exchange your US dollars for whatever country's currency you are visiting. And the same for you. So if you were leaving London, coming to going to another country, you would have to change the what is it, the British pound. So
Mhm.
you would have to exchange your British pound for that country's currency,
Mhm.
because typically when you travel to other countries, they don't recognize your money,
Mhm.
right? So you do this, and typically you do it in an airport, you do it at a kiosk, or sometimes you do it at the mall,
Mhm.
right? This is an industry, ladies and gentlemen, that 5.3 trillion to $7 trillion a day travels through it, right? And we
Mhm.
participate in this market whether we want to or not.
Mhm.
As Coach Henry mentioned, um, you know, the banks take our savings account and they invest in this market daily, right? And they make a huge amount of money on it, and then they turn around and pay us a small percentage. It's a market that's open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, worldwide. And we're just showing people how they can actually capitalize in this market. Because, like I said, you're participating in it whether you want to or not.
Mhm. Yeah. So, but what made? Are you still there?
I am.
Yeah. So, what what made you wanted to get involved in trading?
Well, it actually just made sense to me. I was actually looking for an avenue to make some additional income. As you all know, COVID hit March of this year, and I was put in a situation where, uh, my job, I didn't know if my job was going to be on the line. I'm not considered an essential worker. So, by the vice, I'm sorry, the CEO of the company had a call, and on the call, she mentioned the fact that there was going to be a furlough list. So I didn't actually make the furlough list, but what I realized at that time is, man, if I did make the furlough list, what was I going to do to support my daughter? Being a single mom and everything, at that time I didn't have another stream of income. So I figured I need to do something different. So I reached out to Coach Henry, who had mentioned this opportunity to me about a month or so before time, but because we didn't ever our schedules didn't mix because he's on the west coast, I'm on the east coast. I never got an opportunity to take a look, so I decided at that time I would take a look, see what it was all about. And like I said, it made sense to me, and it's something that I think that everybody should at least take a look at. It may not be for everybody, but what I have found is this: it's given me the opportunity to do some things that I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise.
Yeah, and what were there any challenges at all? Was it anything that surprised you?
Um, I wouldn't say there were any challenges. What surprised me is the amount of money that I can make in this industry, and the quickness with the quickness that I can do it in. So the instead of going out getting another job, taking time away from my family time, and having to get out and deal with the pandemic that's going on, I can actually do this from the comforts of my home, right? As long as I have Wi-Fi connection, and I can multiply my money. Something that is unheard of. Like Henry said, you take $100 and put it into some type of investment. It's going to take you about 36 years to double that money, right? In this industry, I can do it. I can multiply my money on a daily basis in minutes. It's absolutely phenomenal.
And it could, because you mentioned that you also do something else. But I'm looking at time. How much time do you need to commit if you're involved in foreign exchange trading? How much time do you need to invest in doing this?
That's a great question, because everybody, like Henry said, people are busy, right? We all are busy. I'm busy too. Um, we suggest an hour a day, 4 to 5 days a week, and within about 60 days, you probably won't be a master trader, but you will certainly be a proficient and profitable trader. So an hour a day, and I think that everybody has an hour a day. You just have to figure out what's important to you. So sometimes you have to give up something.
Yeah, it's called sacrifice. I agree. Uh,
That's
yeah,
correct.
yes. Someone sent the question in, asking 228, asking what are the tools needed to do this.
In order to be involved, you need a cell phone, a tablet, a laptop, whatever kind of device you typically use for to connect into the and an internet connection. And that's simply it. Those are the things that you need in order to get involved. And I always say a open mind, and be coachable and teachable.
hmm and obviously you seem quite upbeat since you have been doing it. And But how has it been for you in that respect?
Talk
It
about
has
the academy, Shanae.
It has been absolutely, it has been absolutely phenomenal. We have an academy here that teaches you everything that you need to know about the foreign exchange market. So
hmm
you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know it, because I didn't know anything about this industry when I got involved. But in our academy, we have 6, 7, and 8 figure traders by right that are teaching us their strategies and techniques. So I, plugged in to the system. And like I said, for me in the beginning, I was very nervous. But who's not when you start something new, right? When most of us started our job, we were probably nervous the first day, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first couple of weeks, we didn't know everything, but we didn't quit our jobs because we didn't know everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
We stuck around, and then within, 30, 60, 90 days, we started picking up on things. So that's what it is here. So as long as you're willing to have an open mind and to learn a new skill set, this is a skill set that nobody can take from you, right? And the great thing about this opportunity is, like with real estate or other type of industries, you typically have to have a certificate, right? You have to have some type of license, to operate in the state. Here, you don't even have to have a driver's license,
Mm-hmm.
to get involved. So that was right there one of the things that stood out to me, and I was just excited about it.
Yeah, you seem quite sure on your feet about it, and in terms of it being the right decision you made. I know that Henry and I had a discussion about overcoming that fear to some extent. And you yourself spoke of it, and how did you deal with it?
How did I deal with what
W-
overcoming the fear?
Yeah, because you said at first you wouldn't, because obviously you haven't got the knowledge about it, and you were a bit tentative about going into something that's totally new to you. How did you approach it?
I was determined because my why, it was bigger than me. I'm
Mm.
doing this because it's bigger than me. I have a daughter that's about to graduate from college, and I made her some promises, right? I have a 15-year-old here. I have parents that are older, that sometimes need my help. I'm kind of the go to person in my family. I have siblings that depend on me, from time to time to help them out financially. So, as Henry mentioned, growing up, we were all taught to do what? Go to school, make a grade so you can get a good job. But as he mentioned, the job really allows you just to take care of your food, clothes, your shelter, basically take care of you, right? So I just knew that it was just something bigger than me. I'm meant to do something great. So I let my goal, you know, just overtake the fear that I had.
Yeah.
So my goals were bigger than my fear.
Yeah, thank you, Shante Sterling, for contributing your knowledge and your experience of getting into trading, and I just want to thank you for contributing to the program this evening.
Thank you for the opportunity to share. I appreciate it. It was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Henry. We're getting back to you, Henry.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we just
Yes,
want
sir.
to, because Shanae mentioned the academy, but we just want you to expand on the academy to just tell the listeners a little bit more about the academy.
Oh, great. So the academy, ladies and gentlemen, the academy is set up with a series of pre-recorded videos that will take you from a novice, um, just like what Miss Shanae said, to a person who is confident, and you're going to be a confident trader in a short period of time. So we have a series 100, 200, 300, 400 series of trade systems. So we like to call it like a Rosetta Stone. It's going to teach you the language of trading. You're going to learn words like Fibonacci, uptrend, downtrend, reversals, stop loss. You're going to learn that trading market is different than the stock market. What happens is no matter which direction the market is going in, you can make money. If the market is going up, you'll put in a buy order. We'll teach you that system. If the market is going down for some reason, you'll put in a sell order and you'll make money in that direction immediately. So those are some things that haven't been taught to us. It wasn't privileged for us. People like us, the regular a black person around the world, didn't get a chance to get into these industries because you had to have a huge network of people who are already doing it, and then your net worth had to be a certain level of a high six figure or seven figure monies put away. So now with just going through the academy, and we have brokers, you can start in a trade account uh, um, for just around 50 US dollars. Um, it's an amazing thing to change people's lives. And then inside of that, you heard Mr. Janae also talk about, we have these educators who are vetted. right? They've already been vetted by the company. They've been vetted by the industry, who are 6 and 7 and 8 figure traders in their own right. As they're trading their own money, their own personal money, they're online teaching you live. So you can watch this person push the button, and when they push that button, you push your button. When they pick this trade, you pick that trade. So as you're learning it, you can earn money. There's nothing like this in the world right now where you can learn and earn at the same time. Most of us, if you want to do something, we got to go to school, learn it, acquire the debt, then go get a job to earn money.
And I think the good thing about this, Henry, is that you can do it in the comfort of your home. You, in terms of being cost effective, you don't need an office.
You do not need an office. Exactly. You don't need an office, and you can do it anywhere you want to. If we decided to come on out to the United Kingdom, right, we can run the exact same system there. If you chose to go to Switzerland, if you chose to go to Trinidad, Barbados, if you chose to go to Nigeria, it's the exact same system. It's a worldwide opportunity that you can start locally and change your life for your family forever.
Absolutely. Now you do just share with the listeners about your webinars, because you do webinars as well. So just share that with the listeners.
Yes, we do webinars daily. We're also going to set up something special um, for the UK at a special time, because I know our time differences
Mm-hmm.
are all over the place. But if someone is interested and you have a Zoom account, please write this down if you can, if you don't mind me giving it out,
Yeah, go ahead.
sir.
Go ahead.
Um, right? If you want to jump onto our Zoom account, the actual number is, as we pull it up, I'm having a brain freeze. 639. Is that the right one? Is Shanae on? She can probably have it faster than I can have it. All right.
Uh,
Our number. Do you have it in
uh,
front of you?
I do. The
Okay.
Zoom ID is 639-747-7403. And there's a password, which is 743593.
Yeah. Shanae, do you want to repeat that again?
I will. So the Zoom ID is 639-747-7403. And the password is 743593.
Thank you. And Henry, when does these take place in timings that people could? Is there a way that people could get this information or know when it's taking place?
Yes, yes. So tonight, every night this week, we're gonna do one at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 6 p.m. West Coast. So if you're in the Eastern Standard Time, I believe that's just a 3 hour, was that a 3 hour difference, 4 hour difference. So it's a 4 hour difference. So I know it's really early in the morning for some folks. I also have a personal website. We have a team website that you can jump on and also get the information. At the end, it
Mm-hmm.
will take you to an email. If you send an email saying you have interest, we'll make sure someone gets in touch with you
Mm-hmm.
and put you in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
That website is DTWW
D.
500,
Go ahead.
DTWW 500.com.
Right. So that's DTWW dot 500. No. Can you repeat that again?
Yes, DTWW, the letters D is in Daryl, T is in Tammy, W is in whiskey, W is in whiskey, DTW500.com.
Right.
DTWW. Watch all. You'll see three short videos that gives you all the information also. And at the end, go through all the end and type in the information, and someone will get back to you, and talk to you specifically about how you can become a master trader like a Miss Shanae Sterling
Mhm.
and so many others that we
Yeah.
have all across the world right now.
Well, so the context of these webinars is about teaching people how to trade.
We're going to teach you how to trade. We're going to give you access. We're going to show you how to get access to learn how to trade foreign currency, like Ms. Shanae talked about, and cryptocurrency. Learn how to trade Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. Learn how to trade the indices and learn how to trade gold and silver and oil so that you're not confined to just our dollars. You'll get a chance to learn and trade the industry. So, and remember, in trading, you just want to know the direction of the market. We're going to teach you how to understand the direction of the market. If the market is going up, you put in the proper order. If it's going down, you put in the proper order. So the direction of the market should not scare you or excite you. What should excite you is the knowledge of how the market is moving.
Hmm. Right. So, how else can people contact you? Have you got any other social media sites or anything like
Yes,
that?
if
Yep.
you yes, if you guys would love to, I would love for you guys to go on Instagram. If you have Instagram, my Instagram is Coach Henry Jr. That's CoachHenryJr. Please, if you follow me, I will follow you back. There's no problem. That's on social media for Instagram. On on Facebook, it is just my name, Henry D. Lincoln Jr. Henry D. Lincoln Jr. on Facebook. Follow me, jump on, and then also in there you will get, everyone who is part of our organization. They get the unlimited uh, personal development side of this, where you have a chance. You fight to become a better person, understanding who do I become, the millionaire that I want to be. I have to become that person. The person I am now obviously does not have $1 million sitting around. So I have to become that person. How do I do that? I grow. And I grow through the organization and the books and the villages that I surround myself with, so I can now share with others. And we do a lot of stuff in that world, in that. And of course, we have a YouTube channel, Dream Team Worldwide YouTube channel. Make sure you guys plug in. Again, we have folks across the country and across the world who are willing to help get you involved and get you the education. I want folks to know what's held most of the world of Black people back is the education of money, not formalized education. Right? I do believe we're some of the smartest people, if not the smartest people in the world, but we've learned the wrong thing. We've learned about a European history that had nothing to do with our Black history. We've learned about how to be traded as a person, but not how to trade and become a better person. So the education and what's going on. I'm so glad we get a chance to be on for Black History Month. That you can go out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Go out today, ladies and gentlemen, and don't just count the days. Right? Don't just count the days from now until the end of the year. Let's make these days count.
Hmm.
Let's make these days count by doing something special, something great,
Hmm.
where you can move in a different vibration, a different energy that's going to get you to your goals and your dreams, and you'll have a wonderful life and create generational wealth for you and your family.
Yes, because in terms of the Global Horizon show, focusing on Black History Month, it was about refocusing the perspective in terms of what generally happens during Black History Month. So I felt that that financial literacy was one of the areas that we didn't really seem to put a lot of focus on. Certainly when it comes to education, and obviously the perception of that is out there of us, and sometimes that we have of ourselves, needed to shift. It was about refocusing and shifting that mindset. So, Henry, I just want to thank you for sharing your depth of knowledge here with the listeners here this evening on Global Horizons, and I look forward to having even more conversations with you in the future. I shall be repeating your your webinars your Zoom details and your YouTube and the different social media information that you gave. So again, Henry, just want to thank you for being a part of the Global Horizon show this evening.
Well, thank you very much. I know you guys are doing great work out there for the community and for all the listeners and all the folks who are paying to make sure this stays on the air. This is very important. The work you're doing, my brother, is very important, and my hat goes off to you. We bow to you that you stay strong, you stay healthy, you stay determined to get the right word out to the right kind of people, and we're gonna make this world a better place. And as Black folks, we're gonna take our rightful position to be the head and not the tail. So we thank you too for all the work that you're doing.
Thank you very much, Henry. Yeah, that was yeah, yeah, that was Henry D. Lincoln there, and Shanae and Shanae Sterling, giving you some very positive and powerful information there about making your money work for you. Henry Lincoln, a life coach, they're from California, and Shanae Sterling from Atlanta, Georgia, who is a foreign exchange master trader. And they gave you a wealth of information there about getting involved. What stood out for me was the aspect of developing yourself and changing the mindset that if you want to be successful and you want to be that millionaire, then you also have to change the mindset, and part of that has to come with changing your environment. Is what I take from that, to influence, to feed your environment, to feed yourself with the food of a positive environment, and that would definitely change your mindset. And what I also heard was that you have to be passionate and hungry for it as well. To, if you really want it, you have to go after it. You cannot feed the fare. You have to starve the fare and get on with it. So very powerful information that we very powerful information that we got from Henry Lincoln and Shanae and Shanae Sterling there in the United States. You just want to thank them for giving us that powerful session here this evening on financial literacy. Now we're going to have Andy Advocate. Yeah, he's going to give his say. He's going to come in. Good evening, Andy.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
Very fine, thank you very much. That was a good listen. That was.
Yes.
I enjoyed that very much. Thank you very much to Colt Henry for being part of the Global Horizon show, and he brought up quite a lot of interesting points.
So
you know, his last point, what he was saying, is better to be the head and not the tail. You know, to be in control of your own destiny and your financial future. But there's other little points, you know, about actually who is an entrepreneur, whether you're a self-employed person, you know, and you mentioned that the self-employed person is the I do, but the business person or the entrepreneur creates systems. And I think that is one of the things that, you know, we need to learn. And we also need to, as I said, we need to pass on the knowledge. We need to recreate ourselves. If you're a millionaire, you need to create another millionaire next to you. Yeah, and that person creates another millionaire next to you. But what we tend to sometimes do is we tend to not want to share, you know, like we've got something to hide or something like that. You know, it could be long time trauma that we're suffering, but we've got to change, as the man said, we've got to change our mindset now. You know, we're living in a different world right now, so the things done online. You know, it's about the doers. You know, we've got a job and we just what's it for? Just for food, clothing, and shelter. we need to do a little bit more than that, don't we? If we want to have generational wealth
Mm-hmm.
within our community, and obviously one of those three things: having social, economic, political power. So we need the economics
Mm-hmm.
so that we can help ourselves and make ourselves as a group of people much better.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. So,
So,
so go ahead.
but, so yeah, yeah, it was very, and Shanae, that was good to hear her. She's just a regular mom like us all, and she's involved in doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know, Buzzy, when can they sign me up?
Well, you've got the details there. I'm going to be will be repeating it before the end of the show. I definitely would, because they're holding a webinar tonight, but and they hold it daily. So I will be giving the listeners that information again.
No, but
Repeating the
truthfully,
website.
we find that, we brought something today about financial literature, and people need to go out and do their own research
As well, absolutely.
Yeah, they really
Mm-hmm.
need to go out and do your own research.
Mm-hmm.
People can tell you this, can tell you that, but you need to also go and do your own research.
Mm-hmm.
As the entrepreneur, you said you have to do research
Mm-hmm.
to create.
Yeah, you.
So, I always say the forex trading, as Shani says, it's not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But if you find that skill and there, you got to develop it and create it,
Mm-hmm.
create more of that. So yeah, it was very good and very interesting. And yes, I think it's a time as I said, we change that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's about changing the mindset of who we want to be and where we want to go,
Yes.
and that why has to be bigger than just a job.
Yes, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
Andy, Advocate, unfortunately, time has elapsed, and
Yes,
thank you
it
for
has.
your short intervention here. And but we've got the Blackman talk coming up next.
Yes.
So we're with Anne's the urban psychologist. So thank you once again. And
Thank you.
And yes, so you can obviously you will be joining me again live online next week for next week's show. So again,
we're under this COVID restriction, and
yeah.
we're working in a different way, but we're bringing the show
well, we still
live and direct.
still trying to keep
As we-
still trying to keep it going under the new tier 2 lockdown.
That's right. We're still going loud and proud of everyone who support behind the scenes and keeping Global Writers on the air. So
Yep.
thank you.
Thank you,
again.
thank you, Andy.
Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yes, that was Andy there giving his just giving his little review on what Shanae and life coach Henry D. Lincoln brought to the table. He was given his feedback there on that. Yeah, you're listening to Global Horizons on slrradio.co.uk, and we had Shanae Henry, master trader, and we also had Henry D. Lincoln, who is a life coach, and they were talking about trading and how to make your money work for you. Up next, we have Anne's the urban psychologist, and she's been presenting Blackman Talk in the last weeks or so, and she has been really been tapping into some areas that we often find as a community perhaps difficult to breach, and the focus of her theme was restoring healthy relationships in the black community. And tonight Anne will be reviewing Blackman Talk, and we have Anne here on the line. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening, Buzz and B. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Oh, brilliant. I can hear you, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. How are you this
How are you?
How are you this
Oh,
evening?
yeah. I was actually the same thing, yeah. I'm feeling fine. I'm at number 6 or 7.
Number 6-7 today. Yeah, but
Yeah.
as you are, we are trying to work with it with this new 2-tier government lockdown, but hopefully that it will be as over as quickly so we can actually deliver the segment in a different way. But the whole idea is to obviously keep it going in that respect. So, what are you reviewing it this evening? So, just share with the listeners what you are delivering this evening.
Yeah, just firstly, hello to everyone listening. And yeah, this evening we're just going to look at the whole, you can call it series of Black Men Talk, and just go over, what we've been looking at over the few weeks. And I think I started early August actually.
Oh, August. So
And
I didn't realize. I didn't realize it was that long. I was thinking.
I didn't think it was that long either. So I think, yeah, around August, the time has really gone quickly.
Mm.
And just looking at the guests that we've had and some of the titles and some of the standout topics. And obviously, if people want to text in, they can on 07 984 931
Mm-hmm.
588 if they want to text in while I'm talking. But can you hear me properly,
Yeah, I can hear
gentlemen?
you properly. You're loud and clear.
Am I loud and clear?
Yes, you
Okay,
are.
yeah, so
You're
that's what
loud
we're
and
going
clear.
to look at.
Yeah.
So it's a review. It's a review.
Yes.
And yeah, I can hear some noise on my end, but as long as you can hear me,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so everyone, basically, we're going to have a look at. I'll start with the event because that's why I first entered the radio show and Black Men Talk and Urban Narrative. Before I start, though, I do have some good news, and I'm not going to say the name of the publishers, but two of my books, upcoming books, major publishers have basically said that they are wanting to publish the books. So that's really good news for me because as a published author, that would be excellent. 'Cause it's something that I wanted. Self-publishing is absolutely brilliant as well. And also just to know that major publishers are interested in what you're doing. So that really, yeah, that's really something that I'm pleased about. I'm really pleased about that. And I was also looking at the guests that we have. So I want to say thanks to Mervyn Barrett, Janibus Reds, Victor Daniels. Now, although the beautiful Akira Michelle did not get to appear, I'm going to be still talking with Akira Michelle and Hugh Mayers. He's a psychologist and advocate. He's a psychologist, advocate, and educator, and a relationship coach. And Akira Michelle, the certified therapist, massage therapist. And we have Stefan, who is a fitness coach. Toma, advocate. Tamra as well. I think Tamra is definitely a friend to the show. And Wayne McLean, these are people that haven't been on the show, but they're going to be at the event, which I kept talking about the event. Even though it's not taking place at the end of October, it will be taking place in the near future. But the good thing about the Black Men Talk, that the topics that were raised, so we can have more space and time to talk about each topic. And it really helped me to see that there is a need for having this type of conversation. So also, I can't forget Harrier. Harrier was one of our special guests as well. And yeah, he went down very well. And as did all our guests. And with Harrier, for example, the toxic relationships, we found that quite a few people were getting in contact and wanted to know more about narcissism. So that's led to, the good news is that's led to Harriet and myself will be doing a YouTube online series in narcissism. Because obviously, those who recall, I'm a psychotherapist and a counsellor. And at the end of the day, I do have a background studying and also working and collaborating with clients around trauma. And that includes perpetrators and also those on the receiving end. So I do have a lot of a background, clinical background in dealing with psychological disturbance and also dealing in toxic relationships and people who basically can still hear me, Buzzing Bee.
Yes, I can. Keep
Yeah.
going. I'm listening attentively. I'm here.
Oh, you're listening, yeah, and just, yeah,
Okay.
and just basically people who have suffered at the hands of other people and the psychological games and everything else.
Yeah.
So Harriet actually suggested it. So that's really, yeah, it's really touching because he said the fact that I have that background, he really enjoyed the conversation. He said to also say hello to everyone in the UK, the people that were listening in,
Mm-hmm.
and he may not get to see everyone because of what's happening. So he wanted to come over. He actually was coming over, but that might not be possible under the circumstances. So, who knows? We just don't know. But yeah, he's invited me to do an online, and that was really I'll have to get over my shyness of being on camera. But once I get over that, then yeah, we'll do an online series with him, and also our friend and associate, the original Supreme. Now he was one of the impact guests as well, as was, I said, Mervyn Barrett Wood and Janibus Red, Victor Daniels. And yeah, Supreme, the restoring healthy relationships, the black man versus the black woman, myth or reality, that stood out. And we talked about that and how that triggered a lot of people. But we invited some of the ladies to have healthy conversations about what they think about black men, and not all black men are, and not all black women are. And also we looked at the fact that we're also having a surprise special guest as well on the show. And in the future, we're just looking at, having the time and space to sit with a topic, not as often, but just to move around and have these topics. And it basically blends in with all the conversations we're having out here, because we need to look at self as a community. And there are some tough conversations, Buzz and Fee, that I didn't have, on the show, but it was an introduction. So we're planting the seed and letting people know, okay, we're going to be talking about topics in a way that people perhaps haven't talked about. Because the ladies haven't been vocal in terms of wanting to phone in, but I have been receiving text messages regarding the shows. And the black men versus the black woman, myth or reality, it's something that we're going around in circles. And what we're going to do, we're going to break through. We're going to have a breakthrough, and that means there's going to be some tough conversations. And in those tough conversations, we have to be prepared to listen to what one side is saying about the other. Because what happens is we usually become defensive, and it's about sitting with what the black man is saying about the black woman, the black woman saying about the black man. Because there is too much anti-other narratives going on out there. And although, of course, we're all very vocal when other races doing something to us, but we have to address what's going on in our community. And also the conscious community has a responsibility as a conscious community to look at the issues within the conscious community, and to look at the fact that there are people in the conscious community who are not who they say they are. And that really does put other people off of what the conscious community is about. Because in the poem that I did, The Conscious Community, since then, I've obviously learned more about the conscious community. And one thing I will say is that there is a lot of love. There is a lot of love. There's loyalty. There's a lot of people just wanting to do better in the conscious community. And I think that at the time of doing the research, that side of it I hadn't experienced. But also there is the other side, where there are people who are taking advantage of people and using the conscious community in order to be predatory or do whatever else, and that is wrong. So that has to be addressed, because the ladies were contacting and they're from the conscious community. So we have a responsibility. And I've probably not seen as part of the conscious community. And this is another thing. I also wanted to thank the beautiful Akira Michelle, because there's another lady in the conscious community, a few ladies that embraced me, and that's a really positive thing, because something Brother Dougie did that no one else did, and that was to invite me to a presentation, being inclusive. Because if you think about it, and think about this for a moment, Brother D, years and years and years, there's been a conscious community, black people talking, having knowledge, X, Y, Z. Sometimes, I've got that in the poem, sometimes you have to allow diversity into the community to assist with that change. Because sometimes when we're in there, that's not where the change happens. Sometimes someone from the outside, like myself, would be considered from the outside. And it takes people like Akira Michelle who embraced me, and people like Brother Dougie and yourself to embrace somebody from the outside, if you like, so that basically we can all work together and
Yeah.
collaborate and
Yeah.
make a difference.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I do agree. In that sense, because you mentioned about the you mentioned about the conscious community and the I'm sure you're aware that the conscious community is not in a sense a monolithic at all.
Sorry, I didn't hear you there, Button B.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Right. So what I was saying was that the conscious community itself is not monolithic, and the conscious community itself is diverse in itself. So I could understand perhaps your challenge of coming into the conscious community, quote unquote, and trying to work through it, because the conscious community in itself is very diverse, like any other group of people. You're going to find particularly the same kind of behaviors and attitudes, because it's made up of human beings. So
Can I say, with the conscious community, like obviously every other community is diverse, but in terms of black people, when people hear black people, complaining about other races, what they do to us, the conscious community is to stand for, set an example. It should be setting an example. And what I'm saying is that there's a lot of people have negative views about the conscious community. So therefore, if there is in the conscious community,
what I would say to people.
But what I'm going to do, though,
Okay.
what I'm going to do is finish up. But because I know
go
time
ahead.
runs out. But there'll be more time for us to unpack, because what's going to happen is there's definitely going to be a conversation to be had, because we cannot, as black people, keep making excuses for ourselves. I'm just planting the seed basically to say that the next time around, wherever, so I'm going to be doing freelance, it's going to be a different me, because we have to have change in our community, because people are hurting people, and the conscious community is supposed to stand for something. They're using the names of our ancestors, so we have to be the role models.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is there is an epidemic in the conscious community. There are some people roaming around who, some of them in some cases, are anti-black women and pretending that they are about something, and that needs to stop. And there are women who are taking advantage of men as well. So at the end of the day, I'm saying, if that's the conscious community, then they have to look at within the community and make changes, because it has a negative reputation. And someone like myself, I've been told, I don't go in there, don't do this, don't do that, you can't, people be negative. And someone like myself, a psychologist, psychotherapist, who has a reputation, a very good, exemplary reputation out there in the mainstream, and go to research centres, professors who everybody knows the reputation that I have and the standards of practice. So I'm saying to you that we have to learn to kind of accept one another and be inclusive, and that's how we learn from one another. Because I can remember last year doing a presentation, and before I did the presentation, there were some ladies being very negative. What do I know about understanding the black man? And I can remember afterwards that Mervyn Barrett has been so supportive. And at the end of the day, I do know about the black man, and I promised my dad that I would continue what I'm doing. And some of the ladies, by the time I'd finished, they couldn't say anything negative, but just giving me a chance to put forward. Yeah. And another thing to say to our men, some of our men objectify, some of our men will listen. But after that particular presentation, that's when I knew, okay, I'm going to keep doing this, because somebody said I smashed it, whatever else. At the end of the day, from the youngest age, I decided I want to get to know the black man psychologically over physically. So when I say that, black men know what I mean by that. And at first, some ladies felt uncomfortable about that. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be in the community and understanding women when, when I did the survey and in my practice, the ladies at the time were being very negative. And that's something that, we need to talk about as well, how we are with one another as women. And not all women are the same. So the point of the matter is, Brother Dougie helped me to reconnect with the community because of my experiences. And that made a difference. So, we have to include others. And that is the thing. I'm not somebody, I don't say grand risings. That's not me. I probably say, hiya, how's it going? There are different types of people. And I'm going to keep my, my name. So what I'm saying is, let's just drop all of that stuff, because we have to go forward, because our kids are suffering as well. Young people are suffering, young people are dying. We have to grow up. This generation, my age and onwards, we have to do some growing up, and we have to do something different. So you're hearing a different me today, because what I'm saying is, I'm seeing things like we did the unpacking, we did the interviews. Going forward, I'm going to continue what I'm doing and what I said to my dad that I would do. And understanding the black man is my specialist area within the community, not to dissect the black man, sorry about that.
There was some, there's some
you can hear
commotion
in the
going on there.
background. One second, can you hear me, sir? 1 second, I'm just going to plug in. Sorry, listeners. All right, can you hear me, Buzzing B?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that. So just saying that basically, we're going to do things differently. Before we were unpacking the different issues, but now what we're going to do is just now I'm going to get serious with it, and some people are not going to like it. We're just touching on different subjects.
When you say some people are not going to like it, you say, what do you mean? Because it's a wide listenership, and you're always going to get people who are going to disagree. But I think as a community, we are mature enough to deal with certain topics. Well, you can say that,
but I've been around. So when I say something is not going to like it, I was doing the research, and I've been there when I've been having things dragged out of my hands by some ladies and people going on a certain way with me. So when I say to you, some people are not going to like what I have to say. So it's sometimes what the black man is saying, and I'm conveying that. We're going to have some tough conversation.
Yeah, well, I mean that's reflective.
Because I have to make that point, because I was the one that did the research. I was the one that was on the receiving end of certain topics. You don't know the questions that I put forward. So I'm saying that some people are not going to like what's said, what some of the men are saying about the women, what some of the women are saying about men. So that's what I mean by some people are not going to like what's going to be said.
Yeah, okay.
That's the only way we're going to move forward,
All right. I mean, but I think having tough conversations is all part of the journey. I would have thought.
It is, and also, but it definitely is. And the reason why I'm pumped up is because, this time last year, it's my birthday soon. I'm laughing because it's my birthday soon, and that's why I was in such a so passionate, Buzz and Bee, about the event for the 31st. So that's my secret. I was so passionate about it being on the 31st. It's not going to be, but at the end of the day, it's going to happen. So I'm going to do a show, and I'm going to continue, and we're going to be online and the Urban Psychotherapist on YouTube, and people can catch me there. Also, Anne's.Urban Narrative on IG, and just to let people know that they can connect through there. And we're just going to continue with this because I'm going to have to unpack the topic.
Right.
Topic, and also, I'm just chatting away, but I also want to say thanks to Supreme, because he was the first person that really kind of invited me onto the radio and embraced what I was doing. So I want to thank Supreme and Lady Essie as well, because they really saw the potential and the fact that they would say, you are the poet, and the fact that the book's now published by publishers, that's something that I'm really pleased about. But when I say the tough conversations, Buzz and Bee, it's going to be tough because I haven't touched the surface. I haven't even touched. It's going to be tough. And I also want to let listeners know that they can text me on 07 742 080003.
Do you want to repeat that again?
Yeah, 07742 080003, and also, to let people know that, I'm not going to dissect anyone in the community. I know the type of therapist that I am, And, I came on radio, lost my father, my uncle, and my godfather, all within months. And then if you add Brother Dudley to that, because he was special to me, because he was the only one that, understood and embraced me. And at the end of the day, and I still came on a radio show, delivered, got the guests. So I'm patting myself on the back, because at the end of the day, I'm grieving still,
Right.
So I want to say thank you to somebody that, was there. He laughed at my first poem that I did, and that was last year. And, he definitely has been someone who believes in my work.
Yeah.
And, I want him to say hello to our listeners before we go.
Yes. So.
And I want to say to everyone, and to you, Busby, for having me on the Global Rising Show. And I know that, it's been a lot of guests and people saying they want more time.
Right.
At the end of the day, there will be more time. And I can see now that, this is what I like to do. I like to interview. I'm still a psychotherapist, and I will deliver short-term sessions, collaborative sessions, and black men will get to know that I'm not here to, and I don't mean to be rude or anything, I'm not a therapist, I'm not trying to turn anybody on or anything like that. I'm here as your auntie, your sister, your cousin, so some people find it unusual that a woman's interested in working with men. I'm not there to be objectified, I'm not about that.
Okay.
Truly, professionally, want to collaborate with the black man. I'm serious about it. And men who have collaborated with me have said, and continue what you're doing, and that's why I'm passionate about it.
Yes.
And my dad,
unfortunately,
wanted me to continue.
yes. Unfortunately, we have to leave it there. Unfortunately, because time has
okay. So my guest
run
will
out.
quickly say goodbye. For the
And
last minute.
we.
My guest wants to say goodbye. And take care, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Buzzing B.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for
Right,
from.
my guest has got me to say goodbye.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so that was Anne's, the urban the urban psychotherapist. They're giving her review in presenting the Black Men Talk over the last weeks or so. I didn't recognize that it was that long. We had on the show tonight, we were talking about making your money work for you, and we had Henry Lincoln and Shanae Sterling. And they were talking about how to get involved. In trading. And they also talk about in forex trading. They also talk about the academy, and they have webinars. So I will be giving you the on Facebook and on YouTube. It's Dream. Team World on YouTube. Just bring up 1440, also Benji and Impress Rose and all the listeners. We have coming up next. We have Pastor Michael Lewis is waiting. Is waiting. Is written in the wings.
Greetings. Global
Is waiting.
Rasta Empress Rose.
Is waiting in the wings. You were listening to Global Horizon Show here on slrradio.co. Just want to thank all the listeners and everyone who participated this evening.
Globally, this is Rasta Empress Rose, aka Original Browning. Don't move that dial as you're now logged on to the Global Rising Show with your host Buzzing B, the show for raising real conversation. So what are you waiting for? Just dial 07984 931 588 on a Monday from 7 till 9 p.m. Keep it buzzing on SLR. One love.